Hello everyone that's out there. Sorry for a bit of technical hiccup. Hope you're doing well, and thank you for attending, and thanks for all those that have or might be viewing this on a recording later on. It's good to have you along, and as we wrap up, ready for a 2021 financial year and get ready for the next one. But of course, before we do that, we need to clear off our single touch payroll, super obligations, whatever it is that you may have, and that's what we're here to do today and show you all about. So this session is just going to be for those clients that we have. Please feel free to ask any questions to myself in the chat as you go through, and then I can raise them as we go. We've got Lauren Wood from Xero, who's going to be presenting for us again today. So she's going to take over in a moment and run us through the whole session. But yeah, of course, if you feel free, please raise your hand and send questions to me as we go. We'll come back to them at the end, or hopefully I can address some to you in a chat as we go. We will close the recording off towards the end of the hour and then open it up to those that are attending to raise questions directly with Lauren. But that bit won't be recorded just for privacy purposes. So without further ado, like Lauren just to jump on in and we'll get this event underway.
Awesome, thank you so much, Tay. So I'll just share my screen, just give me 1 second. Alrighty, let me just move my toolbars out the way and then I'll be able to present, no worries. Awesome. So welcome to today's webinar, and today we're going to be going through processing end of financial year in Xero as well as your STP finalisation. So for some of you, this may be your first year doing this, so don't fret. It's quite simple, and hopefully by the end of the session, you'll have your head around it. If you do have any questions, just use the chat box throughout. We do have everyone muted just for today's session, just for continuity of the session. However, absolutely feel free to use the chat box throughout. So as mentioned, my name's Lauren. I am a partner success manager here in Vic and Tas, and so I look after our top, say, 100 firms, WLF being one of them. So there we go. So having a look at our purpose has been realigned to have a positive impact on the world by growing small businesses. And so what we've seen over the last year, obviously, with the effects of COVID-19 and the pandemic and lockdowns across the country, is we have seen a stagnation in business initially, and then this huge growth over the last, say, 6 months into recovery as well. So really exciting step forward for business in Australia. We do have 2.7 million subscribers on the platform. In Australia, we're clocking at about 1.3 now, which is really exciting, of the 2.4 sitting in Australia currently. We are Australia's leading online payroll platform. So we actually pay over 1 million employees through our platform each week, which is insane. So that comes with a lot of responsibility and really exciting that we can help ensure that everyone is paid on time and through our system. So what we're going to go through today is single touch payroll and our end of financial year processing. We will touch on JobKeeper a little bit as well, and how we wrap that up. And at the end of the session, we also have a bunch of resources that you can follow and some stepped guides as to the process of finalising your end of year. So having a look at what it is, if you're not aware, this is a new mandatory ATO initiative, and it requires your reporting of all of your payroll and salary to be processed through a secured platform through to the ATO. So back in the day, you would have had group certificates or payment summaries, you would have had MDUP files, and I even, back when I first started in practice, we used to actually back them up to a disk and post them to the ATO. So I'm not sure if any of you remember doing that, but that was quite a pain. And this is now a few simple clicks through a platform. What this means is that it changes the way that you report to the ATO. So rather than just at the end of financial year, we'll be processing and reporting to the ATO whenever we make a payment to an employee. So whether this is weekly or fortnightly or monthly or however often you pay your employees, we'll be processing this through to the ATO. And then at the end of the financial year, we do what's called a finalisation, which is just to reconcile whatever we've processed throughout the year back to our books, ensure that it all balances, and then let the ATO know the final amounts. So having a look at some feedback from some of our partners, there's no running of separate reports and downloading files. So it's a very elegant and clean process, simply a couple of clicks through to the ATO. And there we have it sorted in seconds.
Single Touch Payroll, or STP, is live in Xero for those that need it. Instead of typically reporting payment once at the end of a financial year, STP requires employers to report certain information to the ATO after every pay run. This information includes wages and salaries, PAYG, and superannuation. From the start of the new financial year, STP was mandatory for any business that had 20 or more employees as of the 1st of April 2018. Xero is Australia's leading online payroll software for small business. That's why we committed to creating a simple STP solution that only adds one extra keystroke to your workflow. For those businesses on Xero who pay 20 or more employees, there's a once-off sign-up process. Go to the pay run screen and click Opt-in. It's important to make sure that your business information is correct. Check that the agent details, if applicable, are correct. The final step of the opt-in process is to connect to the ATO. Start by calling the ATO using the number on the screen here or using your Access Manager portal. Then confirm the connection. Now you're ready to begin filing information directly with the ATO. Let's take a look. Complete the pay run as normal. In the posted pay run screen, you'll now notice a new option labelled File. Click File and then confirm you have the correct authorisation and that the information provided is true and correct. The pay run information will be shared securely with the ATO. We're here to support you with the transition to Single Touch Payroll. To learn more about how STP in Xero works, visit Xero U and search for Single Touch Payroll. Also, be sure to visit the ATO's website to find out more.
Awesome. So that's our processing of STP. If you haven't yet set it up, if you're one of the exemptions coming through for this year, if you have, then that may have been familiar to you. Some of the other benefits of our payroll system is our super stream. So we have automatic super within inside Xero. So we have a clearinghouse that allows you to pay through to your superannuation fund. We have automatic updates as well. You would have noticed in the last few days that there would have been an automatic update to the rates of your superannuation. So there's no downloading of any files or anything. Being able to file your employee TFN decks, which I still remember filling out those pink forms, I think, when I had my first job. And then obviously our any device, anytime and inbuilt timesheets. So if we have a look at some of our other areas, we also have Xero Me Expenses, and these are probably less known by our small businesses, but these are areas that you can actually manage from within app as well. So Xero Me is an employee portal where your employees are able to go in and view their payroll, they're able to view their pay slips, apply for leave, fill out their timesheets and update any of their details as well. So we'll take a look at that. And then we also have our Xero Expenses. So I did note that we did have a few trades and services businesses on the call. So if you are a business that has to reimburse your employees for any expenses that they need to claim on the run, so say they're on the road and they have mileage to track, or they have to go and buy materials as an example, but they need to be reimbursed by you, then we also have an expenses app, and all of this information will then feed through to the payroll area, which we're going to go through in a moment for processing end of financial year and finalisation. So we'll have a look at Xero Expenses as well.
Forget wasting time hopelessly searching for receipts, getting every detail into a spreadsheet, and emailing claims or approvals back and forth. Xero Expenses helps you eliminate the costly hassles of processing expense claims wherever you are, whenever you want, right within Xero, the most powerful platform for your business. You and your staff can take photos of receipts, and Xero Expenses helps fill in the details for you. It's that simple. You can even set up mobile notifications so that everyone involved knows when a claim is submitted, approved, or paid. Add, pay, and review outstanding claims with ease. You can also manage who can submit and approve claims for more flexibility. Stay in control of your expenses with Expense Explorer. See where your money is going and which claims have been submitted for approval. When a claim is approved, it automatically shows up as a bill ready to pay. No manual entry required. Start using Xero Expenses today.
Awesome. So what we're going to go through now are some of the resources to help you on your way. So I'm going to take you through our Xero Central and Learning platforms, as well as our end of financial year landing pages. And we do have a playbook for single touch payroll as well. So this is going to be a really simple stepped out guide as to processing your end of financial year. So we'll jump into it. Let me just grab up. Sorry, I'm just having some internet issues here. Let me grab up our resources. Awesome. So this is our landing page for end of financial year, and this is for our SMBs, so our small and medium businesses. And what you can see here are your key dates, processing your first financial year, end of financial year for pros, so if you've done it before, and our FAQs. We have key dates here as well, so dates that things need to be processed by, and also our end of financial year resources. So what you can see down the bottom here is our processing checklist for closing off end of financial year, as well as your finalisation for STP. So what I'll take you through today is our finalising of our end of financial year for both payroll and completing your first financial year in Xero as well. So as you can see from these documents, these are stepped processes. One of the first things we recommend you do is review all your settings, so ensuring that all your organisation details are correct, that you haven't had any changes to any of this sort of stuff. Your conversion balances have been entered, obviously potentially with the help of the team from WLF. All your settings are correct, your chart of accounts and your contacts are all done. We then recommend closing off your accounts, so ensuring that your accounts payable and receivable are both reconciled. And so we're having a look at things like ensuring all bills have been entered, any credit notes have been allocated, and any outstanding payments have been made, as well as reconciling inventory if applicable. We then recommend completing your final bank reconciliation, so ensuring that everything is reconciled up to a final date, usually 30 June for most of you. So ensuring that all our bank accounts are reconciled, and we run our bank reconciliation summary reports as well to ensure that they're reconciled. This may be where we need the team to step in, so reconciling our fixed assets for the year as well, and ensuring that we get assistance from the team where necessary. And then processing our adjustments, which is where the team will hop in and ensure that everything is up to date and finalise your reports. So we'll provide this at the end as well, just so that you can follow through. And then when we're having a look at our STP and our finalisations for the year, we also have an end of financial year payroll checklist as well. So again, reviewing our settings as part of step one, we always want to make sure that they're correct, and that you have any reportables set up as well for both your W1s and W2s. Ensuring that all our employee details are correct as well. This will file through an STP to the ATO, so we want to make sure that everything is accurate on their employee card as well. Then going through our reconciliation. So we'll be running both our payroll activity summary report as well as our general ledger report. So these can both be found under reports and simply type in payroll activity summary. And this will give you the activity summary for the year. So your total earnings, your deductions, your tax super, and then also your total payments that are made out. And this should marry up to your general ledger report as well, which is also mentioned on that finalisation document. And this should marry up to your W1 and W2 figures here. So you should be able to see those marrying off for the year as well. Just see if I can get my internet moving again. It doesn't look like it's going to, that's okay. So from there, once we know that these have matched off, we then want to compare them to our finalisation. So if we follow through, we have finalising our single touch payroll data. So we want to click on our finalisation tab under payroll, ensure that the tax year is correctly selected. If you have had terminations throughout the year, then toggle whether you would like to show them or not. Marry these back to the two reports that we provided here. So this payroll activity summary report as well as our general ledger report. And once we've been able to marry them back and reconcile them, we're then able to export this out to a CSV if we need to. So some people will prefer to have a copy of this. You can export to PDF as well. Finalize to submit to the ATO and then submit through. And I would just wait a few minutes. It usually comes back within a few minutes to let you know the status of these as well, so that they've all been finalised through the ATO. If there are any issues, you will have an error screen come up for you as well. So that error screen will let you know what's happened. Potentially we can't match off a TFN, or there's a bit of a weird figure there that we can't place. So there will be an error screen that comes back to you if necessary, and then you can just simply go through, clean up those issues and then refinalise that report. We can also still provide payment summaries to employees. So whilst this isn't necessary, if your employees do want a copy of them, you are still able to process these and provide them to your employees. I don't believe we had any very large businesses on the call, but if you do over a certain threshold, you are able to produce that original MJUT file as well. So having more than the 99 employees, you are able to create the MJUT file still within Xero too. And then if you have any adjustments that you're needing to process through, obviously this will be before your finalisation, we do recommend processing an unscheduled pay run rather than editing a previous pay run. That way we always know what happened at that point in time and then an adjustment to it, rather than adjusting the original payment and not knowing whether how those two payments marry up. So we do recommend posting unscheduled pay runs if you do have any adjustments. As saw before, we also have our superannuation to be paid through as well. This does actually need to be processed through today for it to hit the 30 June deadline. We did have an extension of 1 day, so whilst it does say 22nd of June, we do have today as well. And that will land the funds in by the 30th of June. Cool. We're now going to do a finalisation in Xero. So this is to be done at the end of the year, and this will process the finalisation of STP through to the ATO. So we'll navigate to payroll and then to single touch payroll, and then click on finalisation. Now we must ensure that we have processed all our payroll for the year, so from the 1st of July through to 30 June. If we want to, we can show terminated employees as well, so anybody that we've terminated throughout the year. We'll then select all of our employees. If we do need to check anything here as well, we can click on each employee. So by just clicking on them, you'll simply see their tax file number, the period, whether it's been finalised or not, the gross amounts, tax withheld, any lump sum payments, any termination payments, your super, and any fringe benefits as well. So you can see this all here, and we can simply click next and save. What we can also do is go to each employee, and this will take us through to their actual employee profile as well. So we've decided that we're happy with this finalisation. We can export this out to CSV if we like, so if we're wanting to keep a copy of it. However, this will also always be stored inside Xero. And then we can finalise and submit through to the ATO. As we go through, it's going to give us an authorization to file, so just ensuring that you're the correct person to be doing so and that the information you provided is true and correct. and that you accept the terms and conditions. We then agree and submit through to the ATO. And what you'll notice is it'll be grey and pending for a few moments. It can take up to a few minutes as well. But once this has been accepted by the ATO, these will then turn green and accepted. So these have now been finalised through to the ATO, and we are just awaiting that to turn green. Once they have, we know that that's then been accepted by the ATO and our finalisation is done for the year. So really that simple, but if you do have any questions, please ask the team at WLF and they'll be more than willing to assist you and help. So there are resources for end of financial year. I will send this through to the team and they can provide it out to you. But if you do, I'm not sure if we've got any questions in the Q&A or in the chat, but if you do have any questions, please pop them in the chat and then we'll be able to answer them as we go. Otherwise, I will hand back to Chase.
Thanks, Laura. It's really good. Sorry about your internet being down.
Yeah,
Annoying.
my apologies. It's a bit of a pain. I'm lucky I had some of the stuff already up.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, so just to anyone, if they've got anything at all they wish to raise or any concerns at all from what Lauren said, it's a relatively easy process as we've just seen. It's nice and easy to get done and dusted with using Xero. So hopefully it is that no questions mean you are all comfortable and it's all straightforward for you. But we'll sit here for a couple of minutes and hopefully have something come through. But awkward silence is okay. Doesn't look like much coming through on the out of there, Lauren. You've clearly cleared it all off.
Yeah, often I think people always think of their questions after a session anyway. So if there is any questions that get sent through, welcome to flick them on and I can help out. But yeah, it looks like it might be a bit quiet, but that's okay.
That's all right. That's fine. So thanks everyone for attending. Thanks Lauren for presenting. It's much appreciated. We really do appreciate your support. So to everyone else, have a great day. Have a great end of financial year coming up. I know we've got a good party planned, so we're looking forward to it. Yeah, we'll see you all next time. Thank you.